Hi everyone. Just want to take a moment to update you. It's been a few weeks now that we are into this COVID-19 shut-in, lock-in in our nation. Obviously, we are grieving around the world regarding this pandemic that's really affecting all of us, and not only physically through sickness, but with all the shutdowns, people losing their jobs, people being in situations where they have no food to eat, um, people being in situations where they're being restrained from socializing, understandably so. But all these things create physical, emotional, mental struggles for us. Um, and so being in the midst of a crisis like this is hard. It's hard for all of us. But we do have a hope. And our hope is in a God that is aware of our brokenness. He's aware of the sickness that exists in our world today. He's aware of the financial struggles that we're going to face as a result of this. And so I just want to take a moment to update you. It's probably going to be about a 2 or 3 minute video. But I wanted to let you know how we were faring here at Family Empowerment Centers, considering the crisis that we're facing, and at Envision Chicago. Again, we are an organization that works in tandem, in partnership together, Family Empowerment Centers, Envision Chicago. And so we'll share this on both our media streams. But at the end of the day, we have a community of people that we service that are marginalized, that are under-resourced. Sometimes many of our families are undocumented that we service. And so there's a lot of trickle-down effect that's happening in our community where people are being let go. They're without work. We've given out lots of bags of food over the past couple of weeks to families who just don't have the resource to buy food for themselves because they're out of work. They were working in situations that weren't protected, as some of our regular citizens are working in situations where if they're laid off, they can get unemployment benefits. So we're finding ourselves having to care for many families in our community in very strategic ways, helping them to meet their basic needs. And we also have some families that their children are at home and they don't have internet access at home, and yet the school is asking them to get online and do their assignments online. And so we have some families in those situations. We have had some families call us and ask us if they could print off their children's work because they have no printers at home. We've had some families talk about needing computers at their house. So we actually, just this past week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we were offering one family one of the computers from our computer lab just as a temporary provision for them. Then we have a number of people in our community who are homeless or semi-homeless, who they too have been struggling to, where they could hustle on the street and get a few dollars, buy a sandwich, ask people for a sandwich. With the restaurants shut down and people not wanting to engage the homeless because they're afraid of contamination from this virus, they too are finding themselves with a lack of resource. And so just about every day for the last couple of weeks, we have had at least one pastor, one employee in the office that would allow us to be open a certain number of hours to meet the very needs that people have, if they have things that they can't acquire on their own. And so just about every day we've been providing a meal or two for the homeless in our community. Again, practicing social distancing, encouraging people to use sanitizer on their hands, wiping down our doorposts and knobs and things like that. So we've been practicing social distancing, but we feel like it's important that we as a Christian organization find a way to continue being the light during a dark time that we are called to as Christians. And so it hasn't been easy, but we're doing the best we can to stay active and influential in our community, meeting people where they're at and in their deepest needs and in the midst of a crisis. And so you can be praying for us. One of the areas that's going to be very challenging for us is as we move out of this COVID-19 virus and we move into the next phase of life after COVID-19, will be the trickle-down effect of our summer activities. We run summer camps and soccer camps with 50, 60 children involved. Most of our volunteers come through Envision Chicago. They're people who come from around the nation to serve for a week and to grow and to learn and to be challenged in their own faith. And they provide us a very necessary resource in volunteers. Well, for obvious reasons, due to the COVID-19 concerns, many of those teams are deciding not to come this year. And so we are aware of that and recognize that we have to climb a mountain, so to speak, of an obstacle with regards to volunteer resources this summer. How are we going to run camps for the kids that so desperately need care during the summer months? How are we going to care for them well with a shortage of volunteers? The other impact of that is the teams that come, they help provide financial resource for us. Each participant pays a fee to come. It helps cover the food costs and things like that of their trip. But there is a benefit financially as well beyond the actual cost of the trip. And so between the COVID-19 impact on the school system and the fact that we can't run our after-school program, which receives funding from the school district, Chicago Public Schools, and with teams that are canceling and considering canceling this summer, we as an organization are probably staring down an $80,000 to $100,000 loss of income going into the summer. And so we are feeling the effect of this in a very real way. We operate day to day. Our budget is a day-to-day budget. We don't have high reserves. And so we are in need of looking at how are we going to fund, our operations in the coming months. How are we going to resource sort of with a volunteer base the activities that we operate in the coming months. But this one thing I do know is that our God is faithful. And so our hope and our belief is that the God who initiated and started family empowerment centers through myself and others will be the God that continues to provide for family empowerment centers as we move through this virus situation and into the future. So be praying for us, be considering us as well financially if you're considering financial gifts and donations in the coming months. We are an organization that values what the Lord's called us into in caring for those who are most under-resourced. And we are an organization that maximizes the donations that come in a very effective way. And so we love you. We're praying for you as well as friends and partners of Family Empowerment Centers and Envision Chicago. We look forward to returning to some sort of normal, even if it's a new normal, in the coming weeks. If you have needs or requests that you want us to pray for as well, be sure to let us know. We'd be happy to walk alongside you and in prayer and in other ways. So hope this day is a good day for you, and we'll be in touch soon.